What's up, guys? Welcome back, or if it's your first time to my channel, welcome. I've eaten, I've showered, I'm sitting down to relax and to continue on this journey through my physical media collection. So in this one, we're hitting letter D. Letter D is significantly more than any of the ones so far. So this one may have to be split into two videos depending on how much I ramble, because I do like to ramble. I do like to talk about movies, especially certain movies. I have a lot more to say about some movies than others. In this one, a lot of Disney movies. All of my Disney movies are under D, obviously for Disney. So a lot of Disney movies going to be in this one, but if I remember correctly, a lot of good ones in this this letter in D. So this is well, if I can I pick all these up and show these all? But this is all we got. These are all D's here, and I'm having a hard time not saying the obvious here with D's. Let's see if I can make through this video without making the stupid joke or whatever. It's like I think that's not even really relevant anymore, but people my age probably still say it. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. So let's go ahead and jump into it now with the D's. First off, right off the top, we have Dances with Wolves starring Kevin Costner. My favorite Kevin Costner movie of all time, his best in my opinion. I know he's had a pretty long career, and I don't think he's as great as some people make him out to be. He seems like a good person. But as far as an actor, not one of my favorites. But I love this movie. I watched it. It's a really long movie though. It's really, really long, especially in the time that it came out, because what it was, 1990. I think it's like a 3-hour movie. So I've watched it a few times. I watched it a handful of times over the years. Haven't rewatched it recently. Watched it a few times when I was younger. My mom, growing up, my family always said that we had Native American blood in our family, or and we came from indigenous peoples, and so my mom, my grandma, very into Native American culture, and we went to Native American festivals. There was one in the city that we lived in for a vast number of years during my childhood that we would go every year. They had it annually, and we would go every single year, where they knew us and everything, and same performers and merchants and all that kind of stuff there every year. Come to find out, now that I'm older, I did get a genealogy test, and it came back with no Native American blood in me, but still have a great respect for Native American culture and all that kind of stuff, especially with growing up and really consuming a lot of books and documentaries and stuff like that about that subject. But that's probably another reason why I enjoy this movie so much. It's a very, very good movie. If you've never seen it, it's 1990. Like I said, it came out. I've got the DVD. I bought the DVD first, and then I ended up finding the Blu-ray for a really good price, I think at Big Lots. I think I ended up giving, because I think this DVD might have been from like Goodwill or something, but then I ended up finding the Blu-ray for like $3 to $5 at Big Lots, so I ended up picking that one up as well. And I'll keep both because they have different disc art, so I'll end up keeping both. But very damn fine movie in my opinion, very, very good. So if you're into like that era, if you're into that like time period and stuff like that, then I think you'll really, really like that movie. Next up, we have a couple of Dane Cook DVDs. I think it's a thing, you either love him or you hate him. But first I got the this disc here that actually came with his Harmful If Swallowed CD. It was a CD DVD combo pack, so I've got the DVD here. I got the CD. I don't think I have the CD anymore, but I still have the DVD. And then we've got his HBO stand-up special, Vicious Circle, which is a 2-disc. There's the first one and the second one. I really like Dane Cook. It was a thing where he was really big, and then he all of a sudden wasn't anymore because there was a whole controversy about him stealing jokes and everything like that. But for some reason, he got kind of ostracized for that. But Amy Schumer did the same thing and stole a lot more jokes over her career, and somehow she's still thriving. I'm not really sure how that's going. And there's, she's still got specials, and she's on shows, and she's in commercials and everything like that. But Dane Cook, he suddenly was just gone. And I know there was a whole thing finding out his brother that was his manager was stealing money from him. And it was a whole thing. He lost a lot of his money and stuff. Like Dane Cook lost a large portion of his money his brother stole. So, but I like Dane Cook. I'm a big fan, especially some of the original stuff that was on like the Comedy Central. The Comedy Central Presents special. That was my introduction to him. So very nostalgic for me. Next up, we've got the Dark Shadows movie by Tim Burton, starring Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, Ava Green. Fantastic movie. I really, really enjoy this movie a lot. I think this is one of those I know it had a lot of marketing behind it when it first came out, and then you didn't really hear anything about it. And it's like when I hear stuff about it, which is very seldom, it's usually that, it's usually positive. People usually have good stuff to say about it. The people that remember it or whatever, it's like they like it. So I really like this one. I guess this one could be considered a guilty pleasure because so many people dislike it, but I really enjoy it. I'm also a big Johnny Depp fan and everything, and like the rest of the cast is fantastic as well. So I really enjoy that movie a lot. It's been quite some time since I've rewatched it, but I enjoyed it the few times I have seen it. Next up, we have, starring Tom Hanks, we have the Da Vinci Code DVD, obviously based off of the book, The Da Vinci Code. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I know that it's fictitious and everything like that. Like it's based on a novel that's plays with facts and all that stuff, and it's a really good movie. I'm not a big religious person. I enjoy it as in a historical sense and stuff like that. So I think someone that's more religious, especially Christian or Catholic, whatever, would have a big issue with, and has. I mean, there was controversy with the book, and especially when they made the movie, because it kind of hit a wider audience. There was some controversy with the Da Vinci Code, but I really enjoyed it. And then we also have the follow-up, which is Angels and Demons. This one, I don't remember how I felt about this. I don't remember a whole lot about this one. I think I liked it, but I remember the Da Vinci Code more than Angels and Demons. Next up, oh man, this movie. I love this movie so much. This is the remake, the 2004 remake of Dawn of the Dead. This movie is fantastic. This is the uncensored director's cut version. This movie's fantastic. This movie's so good. It's like I enjoy the original Dawn of the Dead by George A. Romero, of course. I mean, you have to respect the original. I do enjoy that one. But this one, I would prefer to watch this one if I'm going to watch Dawn of the Dead. I love this movie so much. This one is one that's, I feel like it's both underrated and also you hear a lot about it as far as like when you're making some sort of a list of zombie movies, especially like the best zombie movies, this one gets mentioned usually, but at the same time, I feel like it does not get talked about enough. Dawn of the Dead, the 2004 Dawn of the Dead, absolutely fantastic. That is one that's very rewatchable. I've watched that one, man, probably dozens and dozens of times since it came out in 2004. Next up, another one that I really like. I don't know where this one stands with most people as far as like if this is a good movie or not. I know it did very well, but that is The Day After Tomorrow, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, and I'm forgetting his name, and I'm so sorry. I remember Jake Gyllenhaal. This movie is so good, though. This is one of my top favorite disaster movies. Is it like the thing is, a lot of people look at these kind of movies. There's a certain group of people that look at these type of movies and want to look at it through, well, it's not scientifically accurate, and it's just like, it's a movie. Sometimes you do have to suspend your disbelief. And I guess it depends on how intelligent you are. If you are, a certain type of scientist or whatever, it's like you may watch this and just be like, it wouldn't happen like that, or whatever. I guess it just depends on the person. For me, I remember going and seeing this in the theater. I believe I was either working at the theater, or I at least went to see this in the theater when it first came out, and so I was able to experience it on the big screen in a movie theater, which is the best way to see this type of movie. I really enjoyed it. It's very watchable for me. Again, that's another one I've watched a lot over the years since it came out, because I forget what year, and I'm not sure that it's actually 2004 as well. It's like, I don't know if that's accurate, if it came out in 2004 or not, but wow, two 2004s in a row there with Dawn of the Dead and with The Day After Tomorrow. I really enjoy that movie a lot, though. If you like disaster flicks and you've never seen it before, definitely check it out. Next up, we have Daylight, starring Sylvester Stallone. This, I first saw this movie back, because it came out in 98, and I probably saw it maybe in 2000. I want to say 2000, and I think I might have rented it just on a whim or something. But I remember watching it. Never been a huge Stallone fan. I do enjoy some Stallone movies, though. But this movie is probably one of my favorites for sure. I really enjoy this movie. One that doesn't get talked about a whole lot. Obviously, with Stallone, you're going to get, Rambo, Rocky. Those usually are going to be the ones that people want to talk about. I know that recently he's on a TV series that, is it like King of Tulsa or something like that? I hear people raving about that and raving about his performance in that movie, or that show. But this one doesn't get talked about a whole lot. I really enjoy this one a lot. It's really good. But he plays, I think, I don't want to see. That's the thing. It's like I want to say about it, but I don't want to tell it wrong. But I believe that he's like a cop that's suspended or something like that. There is a tunnel in Manhattan that ends up collapsing, and it's under the water. People get trapped in there. He goes in, even though he is, suspended or what have you. He ends up going in on his own merit because he wants to save these people, and it's one of those type of it's a hero movie. Stallone likes to play those type of roles as a hero. It's a very good movie. I really enjoy it. It's got a really good cast as well. They all have great chemistry together, and it's one of those that's, for me, pretty rewatchable. All right, next up, guys, I got my laptop set up now so that if I'm trying to explain something, I'm having a hard time, or maybe I'm having a lapse of memory, which does happen sometimes, I can go over here to IMDb and look it up. But we got Day of the Dead, 2008, Day of the Dead. Mina Savaro. It is written by George A. Romero, along with Jeffrey Reddick. Mina Savaro, Nick Cannon. I'd forgotten about Nick Cannon being in this movie, but I didn't. Mina Savaro's basically the lead in this movie. Very, very good movie. It's like, I enjoy this one. I like this one a lot. When a small Colorado town is overrun by the flesh-hungry dead, a small group of survivors try to escape in a last-ditch effort to stay alive. Sounds pretty generic, you know. Sounds like a typical zombie movie. I really enjoy it. It's like it's a fun one. It's 2008. It's got I think it had a pretty good budget because it did it in or at least it did a lot with very little. Maybe, I don't know. Sorry, I was the trailer's playing, so I was kind of watching it, trying to remember. It's like, I don't remember a lot of details about the movie, but I remember certain things about it. It's a pretty good movie. I do enjoy it. It's good. It's a good zombie flick that if you can find it on like Tubi or something like that, I would definitely say check it out. Next up, a movie from my childhood, and I have not watched this in a really, really long time. It may not hold up. It may be really stupid and silly and just bad at this point, but it is Drop Dead Fred. I remember really liking it as a kid, but it's essentially about a woman that has an imaginary friend as a child, and then I think she has to move back home with her or back in with her mom as an adult. And her imaginary friend comes back, and he is crazy and zany, and makes her do things that gets her in trouble with her mom and stuff like that, just like he did when she was a kid. So, very good movie. It's definitely one of those that's more for like a younger crowd, I guess, but it's one of those that's nostalgic for me, so I really enjoy it. Next, we got Death Becomes Her. Bruce Willis, Meryl Streep. Oh my God. I'm forgetting her. I'm blanking on her name. I can't believe it. Maybe I shouldn't film tonight because I'm just blanking all over the place with names tonight. But that's exactly why why I got IMDb up and open. Goldie Hawn, man. I was gonna say it's like Kurt Russell's wife, Goldie Hawn. It is a Robert Zemeckis film. That makes sense. Probably another reason why I like it. I'm definitely a fan of Robert Zemeckis for sure, or Bob Zemeckis as some people call him. Death Becomes Her, such a fantastic movie. There was supposed to be 1992. There was supposed to be a remake of this coming out, or did it come out? I can't remember. It's supposed to be a remake coming out. I have no interest in a remake of this movie. I think it's great just like it is. I think it's, doesn't need to be remade. Don't try and fix what's not broken. But when a fading actress learns of an immortality treatment, she sees it as a way to undo her longtime rival. It's about these two rival actresses, and it's kind of it's a great story about trying to delay the inevitable of aging, especially as like an actress and stuff, and things happen. The mortality treatment works. But of course, nothing's 100%. And then the rivalry between the two, Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep. I mean, they're so good together. They're so great as rivals and playing off each other, and some of the stuff that they do to each other in the movie is just fantastic. Such a classic, and one that, like I said, I'm not interested in them making a sequel or a remake, or even a sequel. I don't know how they can make a sequel. Not to spoil anything. Well, anyway, don't want a remake. Don't care. No, thank you. on to the next one. Next up, we have Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof. This, of course, was, I say of course, maybe you don't know, but this was with all of, this was paired with Robert Rodriguez's Planet Terror, and known as Grindhouse. And I remember back when this came out, going in 2007, when it came out in the theater. It might have been 2006 it actually was released in the theater. Anyway, went and saw this at the theater. It was a double feature. They had Planet Terror played first, then there was an intermission with a bunch of like mock movie trailers and such, and then Death Proof was the second movie, and they were full-length movies. Planet Terror I like a lot more, but I do enjoy Death Proof as well. Kurt Russell is in this one. Elizabeth Winstead is in it. Really, really good movie. Basically about an ex-stuntman that is a serial killer. But Death Proof, very, very good movie. If you like Quentin Tarantino, you'll probably really vibe. I'm not a Quentin Tarantino fan, but there are exceptions, I guess. But I really enjoy Death Proof. Like I said, I like Planet Terror more. Next, we've got Deep Blue Sea and Deep Blue Sea 2. I've never seen Deep Blue Sea 2. I need to see that, since I own this, so I don't really have an excuse. But I think I've got this for maybe like $5 or something like that. But I mainly bought it for Deep Blue Sea. Really enjoy that movie a lot. Samuel L. Jackson, LL Cool J, Thomas Jane, and it's about a bunch of scientifically altered sharks that eventually go on a rampage in this facility, and it's just a fun like creature feature type movie. Really, really good. It's probably one that a lot of people talk crap about, and probably it's one of those that most people would just be like, nah, it's not any good. I really enjoy it. It's one of those that it's a big rewatch for me. I would consider, at one time, I feel like it was a comfort movie. It wasn't one of those movies that I would put on and rewatch. Next up, we have another Stallone movie, and this one's a classic. This is one of my absolute favorites, Demolition Man. Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock. This movie's fantastic. Love this movie. If you don't know this one, it's probably one of those that wouldn't have worked any other time than in the 90s, but it works. It's so good. It's so quotable. It's so rewatchable. It's just a fun movie, one that I've watched countless times over the years. Our next movie is Dennis the Menace, the special edition version of this movie. But Dennis the Menace, does it give us a year? It's not going to give us a year. Obviously, Walter Matthau there as Mr. Wilson. I forgot. There's one of my babies. That's Gypsy there. But Walter Matthau as Mr. Wilson, my favorite, definitely my favorite role of Walter Matthau. This particular movie, I had this one. I had the VHS growing up. 1993, man. I had the VHS growing up, so I watched this one a lot. I rewatched it a lot. It was one of those I guess a comfort movie as a kid, I went through kind of phases with certain movies where I would just watch it just constantly for days on end, and that was one of them for sure. Dennis the Menace. I never really did the comics or the comic strips or anything like that, or the cartoon. Even I remember there was a cartoon, I think in like the 90s and stuff, but I really enjoyed the movie. Next we got, this might actually, well no, Demolition Man was a Blu-ray. I did not point that out. Demolition Man was a Blu-ray, But we've got Despicable Me on Blu-ray here. Really like this one. I haven't seen any of the others. Haven't seen any like the Minions standalone movies or anything like that, but I really did enjoy Despicable Me. This one actually was gifted to me or given to me. Someone just didn't want it anymore, and it's like, I think it was in like a couple of them. It's like, I don't want these movies anymore. You want them? I know you love movies, and I was like, heck yeah, I'll always take free movies. Next up, from 1999, New Line Cinema, Detroit Rock City. If you know this movie, you know this movie. One of my all-time favorite bands is Kiss. So I love this movie. I think it's great as an ode to Kiss. And as I'm trying to look over here, I typed Kiss in the search box in IMDb. Yeah, 99. Lynn Shay is in it. Giuseppe Andrews, Eddie Furlong. But it's essentially about a group of friends. In 1978, 4 rebellious teenagers try to scam their way into a Kiss concert. But it's all about these 4 friends that they have a band. They're obsessed with Kiss. Kiss is the biggest rock band in the world at that time. Super obsessed with Kiss, and they are playing the closest concert to them is in Detroit, and they want to go see Kiss. They want to go see their favorite band, and it's them trying to find a way to go see Kiss. And one of the friends, Moms, which is played by Lynn Shay, is a super Christian lady and very much against Kiss. The whole, kind of satanic panic and the whole, Kiss are knights in Satan's services and everything. They're a satanic band, and she doesn't want her son even listening to them. He has to hide it and everything like that. It's a comedy. It's a comedy. Sort of crude in some moments, but not as bad as something like Superbad, for example. It's just a very good movie. If you're a fan of Kiss, especially if you like the music in Kiss, because there are some throughout the movie Kiss is featured, or their music is featured. Definitely check out Detroit Rock City. All right, next up, Devil. This movie, the first time I saw it, I did not know what to expect. I don't even remember if I knew what it was going into it, but I absolutely loved this movie a lot. I believe this is one that was mistaken for M. Night Shyamalan. Oh, he co-wrote it. Okay, he co-wrote it. Did not direct it, however. It's directed by someone else. But it's essentially about a group of people trapped in an office elevator. And one of them is the devil. And the whole thing is basically you trying to figure out who the devil is. And shit happens, and there's chaos, and you kind of find out throughout the movie that it explores these, I think it's like 6 people in the elevator. You kind of get backstories about the type of person they are, and as the movie goes along. It's a damn good movie. It's a great movie. But that's really all I can say about it without giving a whole lot away. Just check it out. It's a great movie. Some of these movies, that's really all I can say is like, oh, I really like this movie. See it. It's so good. All right, guys. I've hit the 30-minute mark on this video. I know I paused for a moment there, but on the recording, 30 minutes has gone by, and I don't want to make these too crazy long so that they're easier to watch. So that's going to be end of this. This will be the end of D Part 1. And then next time we'll continue throughout the D's and hopefully get through them all. And then we can continue moving along to whatever the next letter is, or obviously the next letter, A, B, C, D, E, and then move on with my movie collection. I apologize if I wasn't as like informative or what have you, or talked more about some of these movies. It's like sometimes there's not a whole lot to say other than I just really like this movie, and recommending it, trying to give enough to where it's just like, this is what it's about, or this is kind of the general gist of it. Go see it. So, but that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I hope you're enjoying this. If you are, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and then especially with the comments, if you got any questions, or you just want to share your thoughts or feelings about any of these movies, you want to agree, disagree with anything that I've said, feel free. I appreciate any interaction with the video helps. But that's going to do it. Again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay awesome and keep collecting.